Hey guys, it's me, Tyler MV, and welcome to the Game Savvy channel. We finally hit October, and that means a couple things. One is that the leaves are going to start changing. Two is that Starbucks is going to start pushing that pumpkin spice latte on us. And pumpkin spice is delicious. Don't talk shit about pumpkin spice. And three, it means that the scariest day of the year is just around the corner, and that day is Halloween. So in preparation for Halloween, there's a couple of things that I like to do. One is definitely watch a ton of scary movies. Two is I like to get my pumpkin spice on. Yeah, that's right. And three, I like to play as many of the scariest games that I can play to get into the mood. And I figure since this is a show about gaming, why not talk about some of the scariest games I've ever played? So here are 11 of the scariest games I've ever played and that you can play in preparation for Halloween this year. So we're going to start first off with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, I don't remember the last time that I was this scared playing a game. There were moments when playing where I had to put the controller down or hand it off to my brother and say, no, you take it, I'm too stressed out. Resident Evil 7 truly is one of the scariest, most stressful games I've ever played. The developer's use of a limited field of vision in the first-person perspective, dramatic timing, as well as storytelling really redefined the Resident Evil franchise and makes for an absolutely terrifying game. Not to mention the claustrophobic feeling you get by being in a small room and having some crazy psychopath chase after you. If you're looking for an absolutely terrifying game to play this Halloween, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is for you. Next in the Resident Evil franchise is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. What really had me terrified about this game is that Nemesis, who is this giant military-looking creature, is in constant pursuit of you, and you know he's around every single corner. You just don't know when and where he's going to pop out through a wall. And again, this game is about walking an infinite maze, knowing that that giant killer monster is in constant pursuit of you and is going to burst through a wall at any moment. And that has your anxiety levels at an all-time high going to each and every new area, because you know Nemesis is there. So if that game still holds up today, I would absolutely recommend taking on Nemesis this Halloween. Next, we're going to talk about Bendy and the Ink Machine. So Bendy and the Ink Machine does a great job of blending cartoon and horror. Its atmospheric setting has you thinking there's something waiting for you around every single corner. And there pretty much is half the time. Whether that's a Bendy cutout or Bendy himself trying to kill you. Think of what if Disney made a horror movie. Bendy and the Ink Machine is just that. I would put my entire life savings on betting that we're going to see a ton of Bendy costumes this Halloween. So if you're looking for costume ideas and a scary game to play this Halloween, Bendy and the Ink Machine is a great game. And they just released Chapter 3 a couple days ago, so you should absolutely go check that out on Steam. Next, we're going to talk about Dead Space. So Dead Space is a survival horror game published by EA. And have you ever met a necromorph? Well, if you play Dead Space, you'll be introduced to one. Or maybe you'll meet one in your deepest, darkest nightmares because it's a creature that can only come from the deepest, darkest parts of the human imagination. Aside from the nightmares creatures, the atmosphere of the game really sets the scene. From a lack of HUD making you feel utterly alone amongst the blood-spattered walls and lost limbs, Dead Space is the perfect gory game for you to play alone in the dark this Halloween. Next up, you can check out The Evil Within, which is Bethesda's nightmarish horror game with a pretty decent storyline to it as well. Where the game really shines is with its claustrophobic level design that will have you spooked at your own shadow. The creatures in this game really make it terrifying. They are intelligent, fast, and look like something from your nightmares. It's an ever-shifting game that will keep you on your toes and your hairs on their end. It's a perfect game to play if you want to feel spooked this Halloween. Next, we have Outlast. Outlast will literally make you jump out of your chair. As you journey through an asylum, you're defenseless against the mental patients that inhabit your surroundings, with only the ability to run and hide. But one tool at your disposal is a night vision camera, which is only useful if you have battery power. And if you hear breathing in the dark, you don't want to know where that's coming from. Ha! What a great tool! But the camera does allow you to see in your surroundings, which does become useful when you're trying to hide from giant scary monsters. But if you're looking for the most intense game of hide-and-seek of your life, Outlast could be the perfect game for you this Halloween. Speaking of intense hide-and-seek games, we have Alien Isolation, which is the xenomorph stalking game based on the Alien movie franchise. It's a lot like Resident Evil 3, where you never know when and you never know where, but you're very aware there's a xenomorph after you and it will pop out at any moment. It's a cat and mouse game where you play as the mouse and Xenomorph plays as a very scary cat. However, the scariest part of the game could be the soulless working Joes that are in constant silent pursuit of you, saying things like, I will find you, you know. It's the perfect creepy game to play this Halloween. Next up, we have Until Dawn. So Until Dawn was created by Supermassive Games and is an ultimate throwback to the classic horror movies. The game features 8 attractive people looking to party it up in a cabin in the woods. Haven't I seen this movie before? And do everything they can to make it as easy as possible for a slasher nearby looking to, well, slash them. You know, sex in weird places, bathing with headphones on. I mean, who bathes with headphones on? Let's be honest. Cliches aside, Until Dawn finds its scares with tense, dark moments, consequential storytelling, and misdirection. Its creepy environments builds a world where you constantly feel like you're being watched. So if you're looking for consequences this Halloween, Until Dawn could be for you. Next up, we have Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is regarded as one of the best horror games. It's a game that rivaled the Resident Evil franchise at the height of their horrific rule. Where Resident Evil focused to jump scares, Silent Hill focused on eerie environments and psychological terrors, and created some of the most terrifying situations in gaming history. It's a game where the deeper you go, the worse it gets. So Silent Hill 2 might be the perfect game for you this Halloween. I mean, if you're into psychological terror and nightmares. Next up we got PT, and it's insane that PT is on this list because PT stands for Playable Trailer. It isn't even a game. So PT was a playable trailer for Hideo Kojima's unreleased Silent Hill game, partnering up with Guillermo del Toro. This is how scary this trailer is. So I haven't even played this game. Instead, I watched a YouTuber play it while I sat with 3 friends on a couch, all 3 of us hiding behind pillows we found, in anticipation of whatever horror came next. On top of that, the game only takes place in 4 hallways that simply keep going around and around in a circle. But it's absolutely brilliantly designed in its use of familiarity to catch players off their guard. You know, you might walk into a hallway and see nothing down the hallway, you walk through and there's nothing there. You go around, you go into that same hallway, and all of a sudden there's a person standing at the end of the hallway. Creepy. So if you're lucky enough to own PT, or if you have a friend who still has it on their PlayStation, you should absolutely check it out this Halloween. Finally, we're going to talk about Bioshock, because Bioshock is one of my favorite games of all time, and actually inspired me to start making my own games. And why? Because Bioshock is a beautiful blend of storytelling, action, and of course, horror. From taking on the crazy surgeon in the medical wing, to the mannequins who change position whenever you look away, all the way to the enemy splicers themselves. It's an absolutely terrifying game that is only amplified by the atmosphere of Rapture, and a villain like Andrew Ryan, and of course the Big Daddy and the Little Sister. And it's not just literal horror, there are innuendo horror situations in the game as well. Like when you walk up to the baby stroller at the start of the game and there's a handgun inside. So Bioshock is definitely a must when it comes to scary games this Halloween. So that's it. Those are some of the scariest games that I've ever played, and I'm definitely going to be replaying this Halloween to get into the mood. But of course, there are like a billion horror games out there, so I didn't list every single one. So I want to hear what you've played that has scared the crap out of you in the past. So comment below, and I want to hear all the scary games that have made you jump out of your chair that I could check out this Halloween. So that's it for me, and I hope you have an amazing and safe Halloween this year. See you guys.